today we are coming at you, I am coming at you with a really laid back video. I have my husband's shirt on, which I feel like I wear in like 50% of my videos. I promise I wash it. It's just my all-time favorite shirt. I'm the most comfortable in it. It's so soft and it's his. There's just something about that I love. So I don't even have my jewelry on, nothing. But I wanted to come at you and do a one brand tutorial. I don't often do tutorials like this or get ready with me's, I guess you might call it, I don't know. But this brand reached out to me and asked if they could send me enough product to do a one brand tutorial. They did not tell me to do it. They did not pay me to do it. They just sent me the product. And because I had tried some stuff from this brand before and enjoyed it, I said, sure, I would love to. So that's what they did. They sent me some stuff. All right. And we're just going to jump right on in and do it. And the brand we are talking about is Gorgeous Cosmetics. Now, if you've never heard of them, they are carried on their site. They're carried on Nordstrom.com. As well as maybe a couple other things. They're an Australian-based brand. They just revamped their website. I've had a discount code down at the bottom, which is not an affiliate link. It just gets you money off for quite a while, and there was some hiccups with that. A couple of y'all had asked me about, and they have since gotten it fixed. They revamped their website. Some of their emails were down, so it's all fixed. So I have a 50% off coupon code down in my description bar if you decide you want to give some of these products a go. I feel like I'm super bright. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. There are a couple things that either A, didn't work out for me, so I'm gonna use something different. I'll tell you why. Or B, like the lip liner, I lost it. And I'm so upset because I really liked that lip liner. So stuff like that we'll just talk about on our way. So let's get in it. I've been told my intros are too long, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is my eyes. As always, I rarely ever do my face makeup first. I have primed my eyes and obviously done my brows. Now, they have individual shadows and they also have palettes. And I have the 8-pan palette Everyday Beauty Shades. A long time ago, I did a review of their matte 8-pan palette. Very almost cooling on the lids. This one is, like I said, called Everyday Beauty Shades, and there's not a single matte in it. I don't necessarily love that fact, but these are the colors you get. They're getting a little washed out on the camera from what I can see in the viewfinder, but they are all satin shades. There's no shimmers, there's no glitters, it's just satin shades. So while some of them will pull off matte, and there are a couple that I would definitely wear in my crease, just know that there are no mattes. So they also sent me an 8-pan palette contour shades. And this has matte highlight, a very, very subtle sparkle highlight, and some contour and blush shades. So that's what I'm going to use for the matte colors on my eyes. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to do kind of a purple look today. So I'm going to go in first with this pink blush color. Does it have a name? Dusk Rose. I'm pretty sure all of these, are, like I said, are sold individually. They do come with great mirrors, which is what I'll be using. So I'm going to take my Wayne Goss brush and I'm just going to, let me zoom y'all in some. Hello. I'm just going to put this in my crease. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to put the oil under my eyes. So using a, bronzer or a blush in a matte shade is a very easy way to multitask in your makeup products. I know some blush shades will say don't use on your eyes. That's just gonna be a personal call as to whether or not you do that. But these are blending out just as well as their matte shadows. I would not be surprised if it's the same formula. Now I'm gonna go down with a base. I don't have any kind of cream shadows or anything from them, so I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Color Chameleon in Dark Pearl, which is a pearly gray purpley shade, and I'm just going to lay that down and then blend it out. I figured we go a little bit dark to match these almost black eyebrows we got going on. So now I'm going to take a color from the eyeshadow palette, and it is called Plum, and it's this really, come on now, it's this really pretty purple shade right here. And I'm going to take my flat Sedona Lace 941 brush, and I'm just going to top that base. This is a really pretty plum shade. And again, it's satin, so it's not going to come off matte, like a flat matte, but it's definitely not sparkle either. You can obviously manipulate any satin shadow to be a sparkle by putting a topper on it, or even a base that has shimmer in it. And now I'm just gonna take this brown color right next to the plum. Oh my goodness, which is called Hedgehog. That is like, hedgehogs were in our vows, y'all. I know that sounds so crazy, but it is a running inside joke from Chad and I's very first date. And like our first daughter's nursery was hedgehogs. Hedgehogs hold a special place in my heart, so I love that. And I'm just gonna put a little bit, just to add some dimension on the outer V. A little bit up in the crease. And now I'm gonna take this light contour shade right here next to the blush that we used, called Matte Tan, on the same brush that I put my crease color in, and I'm just gonna kind of soften this up because this is dark. Okay, now I'm gonna take probably my favorite thing that they sent me, which you're probably gonna be like, what? What's so special about that? I'm gonna zoom you out just a little bit. Holy cow, my brows are dark today. This is the Carbon Black Ink Liquid Eye Pencil. Now this is not a liquid eyeliner, it is a pencil eyeliner, and upon first look, it looks just like a plain pencil eyeliner. I had this on in my haul video, I think it was, and a lot of y'all mentioned liking my eye look that day, and I think this was the main reason. It was so wonderful. But basically, I'm just going to run it very lightly. It is so black and so easy to apply. Like, takes no time at all. And before it sets, I'm going to take my Artis Linear 1 brush, and I'm going to go in and smudge it. Okay, if you smudge it out on your eye like I just did, I'm not going for a wing, I'll just clean that up. I just love the smoky effect that gives, and I cannot reiterate to you how easy this is to apply. I'm putting barely any pressure on my eye, and it just glides on, and it puts 150% pigment down wherever you lay it. It's honestly one of my very favorite eyeliners for this purpose. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the face. And at first I'm going to prime. They sent me their first base foundation primer. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, this is it right here. It's not my favorite. I'm gonna wear it today because I wanna show you how it works. It's very moisturizing. It's very, I've got a hair, tacky. It does have added fragrance, which I mean, I don't think needs to be in there, but it is extremely tacky. I don't think, if I can come into focus, that if you have dry skin, you're gonna like this. I think if you have oily skin, you might, because it does really tighten up your face and get very tacky to help aid in whatever foundation you're gonna put on top of it. But if you have dry skin, I think it will accentuate your dry patches and maybe not be your favorite. So I just felt like it was a little too tight on me throughout the day. And I do have a little bit of dryness around my nose, and, you know, kind of accentuated that. But I think maybe if you're oily, it might be one you want to try out, because I believe it would help you with the longevity of your foundation. So I've corrected my under eyes, and I'm going to go in with a foundation. I have used their, I think it's their Base Perfect foundation before. And so I asked that they send me the Sheer Brilliance liquid foundation. And they did say, to their credit, she did say, you know, I just want to make sure because this is a very sheer coverage foundation. I said, yeah, because I've already done a video on the other one. It's been a while, but I have, and just something to try out. I'm in the color 2Y/SB. Which I think is going to be a little bit light, but maybe it'll show up because this is super sheer, y'all. Super sheer. But we're going to show you how it works. So I'm going to start. It actually might work. The color might work. So that's the consistency right there. It actually looks upon first pump that you're going to get some good coverage out of it, but it's very cooling, and it has some emollient ingredients in it that I think would be really good for dry skin. But I'm gonna kind of put it on as a moisturizer first, or as I would a moisturizer, and then just kind of pat it on and then check in my mirror and see what we got going on. I mean, it is just super sheer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit with a brush, just on the spots where I need the most coverage. I think if they put maybe some like SPF in this or something, it might be better suited as like a tinted moisturizer, and they might be able to market it for that, because I personally feel like I could get the same amount of coverage out of my tinted sunscreen. So it's building up a little bit, but not much. But you know what? I asked for this. She told me that. So what I'm going to do is wear it anyways, because the powder that I'm going to use does add a little bit more coverage. But I will say, I just don't think that the primer is something, again, that I would suggest for dry skin, because the foundation's kind of attaching on to the primer. So yeah, I don't think I look much different than I did before I did this. So next we're going to go on to the concealer. Now I'm going to tell y'all, this is some major coverage. Major. The first time I tried to put it on, I put it directly under my eyes, and it was way too much. So this is how it comes out. It's pretty messy on the applicator. I mean, this is a doe foot, and it just gets a lot of product. So what I recommend doing, I'm in the color medium G92, is applying it to like a palette or your hand, and then going in with a brush, because it just kind of shears it out a little bit more. And so I'm just going to take this Jessup blending brush that I have and kind of apply it that way. The thing about this concealer with this foundation is that I feel like it kind of, and then I'm going to go over it with a beauty blender, obviously. I feel like it kind of is noticeable that I have like a high pigment concealer on and not a high pigment foundation. But honestly, look at how much that covered. That is a serious concealer, because I did not use much at all. I mean, I just put a little bit on this brush, applied a little bit, and then blended out, because you don't want to apply too much. That's when you're not going to like the concealer, as if you apply too much. But the color, this particular color also brightens pretty well. I'm going to put a little bit on my chin, because I just have more redness down there. I'm starting to get some broken capillaries. Yay me! I'm so excited. And that just covers it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to do a little bit down my nose. I don't want to put it around my nose, because that's where I'm already looking a little bit dry. So this just helps, this helps build a little bit more coverage. But I still have a good amount on my hand, and I do not need any more. That's why I really recommend not going in with the applicator if you get this concealer, but it is super, super high coverage. Now, to set everything, I'm going to use the Gorgeous Cosmetics Airspire Setting Powder. I am in the color 4 ASP. This is a talc-based setting powder. It also has lanolin to help with moisturization properties, and, you know, a few other things. They do add color to this, which again, I don't really know why, but they do. And this is the color. This is, while they say it is a setting powder, I find that it has coverage. So I like to go in with a little bit more of a looser brush so I don't put too much on it. This is the Real Techniques blush brush, and just kind of pat it onto my skin. Now, I think, I've never done it, so I can't say for sure, but I think if you wanted to use like a powder foundation brush, you would be able to achieve more. I mean, even this is evening out my skin over that foundation. Now, I'm not going to use a bronzer out of this, because I just don't like the colors for bronzing per se. I think they're more suited to contour. I mean, this is pretty warm, but I just don't like it's almost got like a green undertone. So I'm just going to bronze with something else, and then I'll be back to do blush. So for blush, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this color called Mocha right here, and it's a little bit more of a purple undertone. And I'm using my Sephora Pro Angled Blush Brush number 49. Super pigmented. Oh, like super pigmented. I used the pink one the first time I tried this, but it's pretty. It blended out nice. It was always, oh, I'm starting to see the pan on the bottom of my hourglass powder. The highlight in this is really not a highlight. I see flecks of like glitter in it, but it's not very pigmented at all. So I'm going to use something else for a highlight. Go back in with this black liner and I'm going to tight line in like 1.5 seconds because that's how long it takes with this creaminess. Put it in the waterline. And before I put it in this waterline, I'm going to take the blush shade that I used and I'm going to kind of smudge it out because it is so creamy. Before it sets, I want to be able to smudge it if any is going to. Does that make sense? It's a smoky eye kind of day. Oh, I just wish y'all could experience this eyeliner. It's insane. Now, before I do mascara, and because I used like a heavier powder, I'm definitely going to spray it with a hydrating spray, and it's the Algena Splash. I could just do that all day. Okay, they sent me a mascara, so I've already primed my eyes. This is, oh my goodness, Madison Avenue New York Lashes. It's not waterproof, comes in packaging like this. The brush is kind of a reverse hourglass, so it gets fatter in the middle and skinnier on the edges. I have tried this before, but I'm gonna try it with y'all. Get this hair out of my... So it is not a big brush. So if you have smaller eyes or maybe hard to reach lashes, this is the kind of brush you're going to want to go for. I have Mondo lashes because I use a lash serum. I really should have my hair back for this. I'm sorry, y'all. So it just takes a little bit longer to coat every lash. Again, I am using a primer because I always use a primer and I can't test how a mascara does for me or against the other mascaras I use unless I use a primer as well, since I use a primer with them. Same with foundations. I know some people say you don't have a true test of it unless you don't use a primer, but I don't follow that policy. Okay, so that is one coat of the mascara, and I can't complain about it. I mean, I don't know that it would make my top 5, but it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge. I really don't have any complaints about it. So if you do like that shape brush, it might be one you want to check out. Now, like I said before, they sent me a lip liner, and I can't for the life of me find it, and I'm so upset. So I'm just going to use my YSL Rouge Pure Couture number 10 Beige Tribute. I just bought this for myself, I guess last week, because it just came in yesterday. I've wanted this lipstick for literally 3 years, and I just got it. So I think it goes well with the purple tones. I love it. So that's the final look with the Gorgeous Cosmetics products. Tell me what you think. I will say, honestly, y'all, I went out to get the mail earlier and I think a bug flew in my mouth and I have been coughing ever since. Isn't that some like information you're so glad you know? Holy cow, my eyes are watering. All right, so out of all of it, my final thoughts quickly, because I'm pretty sure this is long, is this I probably wouldn't go for. I would check out their Base Perfect foundation, which I do think is good. Again, I have done a review. It's been a long time, but I do think that one is good. If you have oily skin, I might very well check out this primer, but if you have dry or even normal to dry, I would skip it because I just don't think it's going to work for you. The powder is nice. I don't dislike the powder. Again, it does give a little bit more coverage, but it doesn't make my face look cakey. And when I've worn it before, it has worn well throughout the day. It has not broken up or caked up. These, I would venture to say that the contour, I don't love the contour palette. The blushes are good, and if you want to look into those single pan, I would do that. But other than that, I'm not a huge fan of the other colors, and I think the highlights are just not the kind of highlights that I tend to gravitate towards. The eyeshadows are pretty, but if you're going to get any eyeshadows from Gorgeous Cosmetics, I would look at their 8-pan matte palette and maybe go that direction because I think it's a little bit more versatile, and I know some people just aren't as comfortable with an all satin palette. The mascara was perfectly fine. I have nothing bad to say about that. If there's two things that I would purchase again from Gorgeous Cosmetics myself, it would be most definitely this eyeliner. And I'm going to see what other colors they have, because honestly, I can't rave enough about how smooth and blendable this eyeliner is. I think if they have other good colors, it would be an amazing, easy, fast, blendable eye base for like a smoky eye, or I don't just get you an eyeliner. They're good. And the lip liner, because I really did like it. It was very similar to the eyeliner in the creaminess of it and the ease to apply. Very, very smooth to go on the lips, and it stayed for a very long time, and it was such a pretty nude color. I'm so upset that I can't find it. But those are the two things that I would really suggest. The concealer is just a little bit too thick for me and my aging under eyes. It is super full coverage and it is super brightening. So if you don't have any issues with like wrinkles or fine lines, it might be something that you want to check into. It's just not the most flattering on my under eyes. So hopefully that was a somewhat okay rundown of the products. I want to thank Gorgeous Cosmetics for sending me these, because I am not sad I have them. I have enjoyed using them, and I have found some really good staple products from that package. So again, I appreciate that. And if you do want to purchase anything, be sure and use my code down below. Again, it is not an affiliate link. I do not make money. It just saves you money. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a very blessed day.